their children need.
The Honourable Craig Foss.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Well, we know something's up, because Mr Cunliffe is growing his beard again. Mr Jones has had a fresh new haircut. And last time that happened, there was some movement over there on the other side. Have a look, Mr Speaker. Mr Jones has had another haircut, and Mr Cunliffe is once again growing his beard. Something is up. Mr Speaker, of course, I don't know what's going on in the opposition, because, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago there was a manufacturing crisis, apparently. Then we showed them the numbers and they realised there wasn't a manufacturing crisis. But today they're talking about a supposed housing crisis. And Mr Speaker, a Minister of Housing, or the Acting Minister of Housing, pointed out today there are 634 odd new houses, more state houses than there was when we came into government in 08. So I'm not sure what the next crisis is, but apparently I do suspect happily it's there to try and cast a shadow or avoid the leadership crisis under David Shearer. Now, to be fair to him, he's had a bit of a rough year, and his 1 year's not quite up. I think he's got 20 or so days to go, but the knives have been sharp, and we watched it, and it was very revealing during the lead-off debate over there at general debate time, those that weren't paying any attention whatsoever, Mr Speaker. But I'll move on to Mr Speaker too. We've had the coalition of the unwilling present itself recently. Their solutions, Labor and the Greens. Finance Minister, future Finance Minister apparently Russell Norman, casting aside Mr Cunliffe, casting aside Mr Parker perhaps. Who would be the Finance Minister under the coalition of the unwilling over there? But that team, Mr Speaker, have given us some insights to Labor's deep thinking. Mr Parker, Mr Cunliffe, Mr Norman want to fix our exchange rate. They want to fix it at a certain rate. No one has actually asked them at what rate is the correct rate. No one has actually asked them how much capital should be put at risk to defend the exchange rate at a certain level and for how long. No one has asked them how much capital should be diverted from schools, hospital, health, super to be used to defend some artificial exchange rate which they think is correct, Mr Speaker. Those questions will be asked and they will be very revealing, because once again their rhetoric, their grabbing for headlines, Mr Speaker, doesn't actually match reality. The only other solutions they've got out there they've told us about, they just want to print money. It's a fair enough response, I suppose, when we challenge them, how will you pay for your promises that they keep coming out with day after day? They're just going to get the Xerox out, the printing press out. What a solution. I don't know why after hundreds of years we didn't think of that. Standard, normal economics didn't think of that. But incidentally, there are examples around the world where they've tried that, and our Prime Minister Key pulled out some Zimbabwe money the other day to demonstrate that to us. Mr Speaker, there's no crisis. New Zealand is performing in growth statistics better than anyone else in the OECD right now. Better than anyone else. So there is no crisis, Mr Speaker. The dream or the nightmare team over there, they want to abandon our inflation vigilance. Abandoning our inflation vigilance that's been stable for so many years. It's like throwing the sprinklers out or turning the sprinklers off because there hasn't been a fire in the house. It's the vigilance, the prudence of our Public Finance Act, of our Reserve Bank and their independence that has served this country so well and has essentially created so many jobs. Mr Speaker, I want to quickly bring us to Hawke's Bay. Hawke's Bay has great proposals in front of it. A huge storage dam to help our economy to create jobs for our families. I challenge the Labor Party to put on record if they support or not that proposal, if they support that proposal, because their potential coalition partners are doing all they can to disrupt that proposal. That is about 3 or 4% growth for Hawke's Bay if that goes ahead. Eugene Sage from the Green Party, sacked after 19 years of not having a water plan in Canterbury, is trying to disrupt the water plan of Hawke's Bay. I challenge the Labor Party to say where they stand, because when they were in Hawke's Bay, Damien O'Connor said he supported it. Yet one of their candidates is now saying they don't support it. Mr Speaker, former candidate, former MP, Mr King. So the opposition party, they say no to everything. No to every initiative to create jobs and grow real growth and real after-tax incomes. No to every better public service announcement or change we try to put in place. No to families' aspirations of a brighter future. I'm so surprised we have to fight for so much of the initiatives we try to put in place for a much better, brighter future for all of our families in Hawke's Bay and beyond.
Andrew Little.
Mr Speaker, there's only one thing worse